Hello and welcome to Healing from the Mess with me, Lizzie. On this episode, I start by rambling about my mom, about some things from my past with her, and some struggles I'm having right now. I decided to make this one long episode. I added in an update from December 11th. So it's very recent. And an update from December 13th. I hope that you enjoy this episode. Let me know in the comments. You can find me on Instagram at Healing from the Mess PC and Facebook Lizzie Lizzy Max capital MACS. So let's talk. I wish I could say things are easier now. I never realized how much pain that she caused. I found some journal entries from my junior year of high school where I found a letter she wrote to a friend of hers that she never sent, talking about how that she was thinking about leaving my dad for a fireman named Paul. I was 17 when she told me the horror stories about her childhood, told me about college. 17. I look at my kids now and it never seems like an appropriate time. Like she was trying to scare me. I wish I would have written in more detail what she said about the guy from college. I still remember the nightmare I had. After she told me the story. I wish I could make this make sense for you. I wish I could, but I don't know how. I keep having dreams about her. Actually, I dreamed she found my podcast, commented, "I know this is about me, and I don't care." She tries to get me to leave with her. I can't block her texts, but I can tell you, even though I don't read them, but you know how, like, you'll see a preview in your window, right, of, like, what it says. Not once she asked me why I wasn't talking to her. It's just talking to me like it's another day. "Hi, love you, hope you have a great day." I delete them. I don't even bother responding, because why would I? She won't even be able to admit that she's the reason why I quit talking to her. I binge ate for the first time on Monday. It's the first time in years. Well, I don't want to say years, probably in months. I don't remember the last time I did it. Went to work, I did my job, and I left, and I went, instead of turning left, I turned right, and I went to Taco Bell, and I got 3 tacos, and I parked in Walmart parking lot, and I ate the tacos, and then I went to McDonald's, and I got a small fry and a small vanilla shake. Ate those on the way home. I can't stop myself. I'm getting really, really frustrated with myself because I know I can't do this anymore, and I keep doing it, and I don't know how to stop. It's not good for me. Not just physically, but emotionally. But I don't want to talk to anyone about this because it's too hard. I don't know how to bring it up. I don't know how to talk about my feelings. They're all over the place. I can't talk about this. I don't hate her. It's just hard to keep remembering and reminding. It's just hard to keep reminding myself that the woman that I knew doesn't exist anymore. Even though it's been so many years now. 20 years? I have to keep reminding myself I'm not wrong. My mom wasn't always like this. There was a time when I don't know, maybe she was and I just didn't see it. I don't know. Because in my mind, I can't remember that far back. I wish I could, but I can't. So I have an update for you. I got a phone call on Friday from her husband. Apparently, she called off the divorce. And then he called me a few hours later, told me to text my mother that I love her because she thinks that he's the reason why there's a wedge between us, and they can't work things out until her and I patch things up, and she needs to know that he's not the problem and he's not the reason. And he called me today to tell me the same thing. I almost hung up on him, which is hard because I love him and I care about him. The fact he thinks everything's going to go back to normal makes me so sad for him and wants me to just scream. There is no normal when it comes to my mom. Sorry, I am really tired of this, and I told him, I said, she hasn't texted me. Well, she said she has. I said, yeah, she has, but she hasn't asked me why we're not speaking. Instead, she's blaming you and making you feel like garbage. So apparently, she'll be texting me later. I can't unblock her. I can't do that. I cannot do that, okay? That is not going to happen. In her mind, well, if I just do this, everything will go back to normal. If I just do this, listen, listen. She chose to file for divorce. She chose to do this before the holidays. She thought that he would just roll over and sign the papers and that would be it. And he didn't do that. So 6 months later, we're still here. If I was going to quit talking to her, I'm mad at her for what she did to him. I'm mad at her for what she put him through. But that's not why I quit talking to my mother. I quit talking to her because she doesn't take no for an answer. She doesn't listen when I tell her something. I was very clear about we financially can't go downstate. And then she had the nerve to tell her husband that on Christmas Eve, we're going to go down and see my husband's mother. Where the hell did you get that information from? We're not going down. We don't have the money to go down. When we go down, it will be to close on the house we're selling down there. So, and we're only going to have time to sign those papers and go home, which really fucking sucks. The lies that come out of her mouth, like she doesn't even ask, she just assumes. I hate it. She knows how much I can't stand people who just assume shit. Ask questions. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't like to swear on here, and I get so frustrated and angry. But it's so raw, and I'm so angry because there's no reason for her to assume things. Stop assuming. You can ask questions. She hasn't asked anything. You're assuming we're going to go down there and not see you. Okay, assume that. Go ahead. That's your problem. I'm so sorry. I just can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm sure I'll add more to this episode later today because I'm sure that she'll try to fucking text me. I'm so sorry. I'm sure she'll try to text me on her lunch today. So, because I'll have more of an update. But I'm going to take a break. I have to get back to doing my daily chores around my house. So, I think it's funny I call them chores even though I own the house. But to me, it's not. It's just chores. So, it's been 2 days since I recorded the previous thing you heard. She did text me sooner than I expected. All I could read was, can we? And I really thought, gave her benefit of doubt, I really thought it said, can we talk? I was wrong. I waited about an hour and I opened it and it said, can we come up for Christmas? All you told me was it was financial and then blocked me. And I wrote her back. I regretted opening that message instantly and I shouldn't have wrote her back, but I did. Okay, you want an answer? All right. Told her how she made me feel. I did not call her out on the lie I heard from her husband, that she told her husband, but I did tell her that her implying I would come down there and not see her, assuming that I don't know what Christmas is about. And I said, if you don't know me by now, I guess you never will. And the following messages were, she blamed it on text. Well, if I would have talked to you on the phone or in person, you wouldn't have taken it that way, which is not true because we know exactly what she meant by it. And she then also said she was sorry, which was a bold-faced lie. Can we start over? Can I come up for Christmas? And I texted her back right before I went to work that night, and I said my answer is no. She then called. I didn't know. My phone was on vibrate. I didn't even feel it. I was walking to work. I checked my phone. It said she called. I immediately blocked her. I was like so irritated, so I blocked her. I felt great. I get home from work, and my husband goes, well, she called and texted me, but I haven't replied to either, and I'm not going to. And I said, yeah, she probably wouldn't like what you were going to say. He goes, yeah, it wasn't going to be nice. I have his support, and I really appreciate him having my back. And the anxiety is still here. It's still very strong. I keep thinking she's going to show up here, which is awful, but is exactly what happens, is how my brain reacts to these kind of things. I don't think she will. I don't think she can. It doesn't mean she won't. I am okay. I know I was really upset 2 days ago when I recorded, and it was because I was in shock, and I was upset with her husband because she was blaming everything on him, and then he was trying to make it sound like, well, if I just talk to her, it'll be all better, and that wasn't it. I did send him what I sent to her, so he knew my response, so she couldn't lie about what I said. And the reason why I told her no was because before I left for work, he had called my husband, and my husband flat out told him, "You're more than welcome here, but she's not. She is not allowed here. She is not welcome here. And if given the choice, I'm gonna choose my family every time." And her husband promised to stay out of it at that point. Now knowing that he isn't the problem, that it wasn't about him, that it isn't his fault, he's staying out of this thing. This whatever this is with my mother. It's just what it is. It's no contact. It's no talking, no conversation. And that's why I told her no, because I felt confident in that decision. My husband already told him that she wasn't welcome. I told her no. The fact she even called me and then called my husband, like, go, you can't change our minds. I'm not going to change my mind. I love my mom, but it's not really a but. I love my mom. She is toxic to me. Has been lying for God, for years, but really, I mean, the past 6 months have just been awful, and I can't deal with it anymore. And it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Like, it hurts. Like, my heart hurts, and I can't watch TV right now because the commercials get to be too much. I can't. I've had to really stay away from social media because seeing people post about their moms or the best mother and daughter gift, or it's just too much. It's too hard. Because sometimes I get angry and I roll my eyes and I want to throw things, and then other times I just cry because it's always been hard for me to see those kind of things. I put my foot down and I said no. And I didn't have any guilt. I felt zero guilt. When I wrote her, my answer is no. I did that because even though no is a complete sentence, for me, it was she needs to have it spelled out for her. So I spelled it out. I did not want to do this before the holidays, but I refuse to be pushed around. I refuse to be lied to. I refuse to be a part of assumptions. I refuse to have her walk into this house like everything's fine. I refuse to pretend to have a very Merry Christmas when next month she could totally decide to still sign the divorce papers. I'm not doing this. We have done facades and pretended for so long, and I'm done. I'm a real person with real feelings, and I want to be surrounded by real people, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I am going to be real and be surrounded by real people who are honest 90% of the time, who don't make assumptions, who decide to ask questions, and who genuinely care about me and my family. And that's who I want in my life. That's who I want around my kids. That's who I want in my home. Unfortunately, she's none of those things, and she will not be welcome in my home. This is my sanctuary. This is my safe space. She is not welcome here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope you will join me next week for another episode of Healing from the Mess with me, Lizzie.